This hour, we are following breaking news. It takes us out to New Albany, Ohio. We're learning at least one person is dead, 5 others wounded after a shooting at a cosmetics warehouse in that area. Police in the city of New Albany responding to an active shooter situation Tuesday night with, quote, multiple victims. The New Albany Police Department saying 5 people were taken to a hospital. Police do continue their search this morning for a person of interest and say the shooting appears to be targeted. At this time, police say they do not have a motive for the shooting. Right now, we see the public information officer and authorities are coming together to do a press conference about the latest in this investigation. Let's listen in now.
You're a coworker who's clearly in need. But even then, we live in a country based on the rule of law, where we agree to a set of social norms in support of the greater good. And when individuals take matters into their own hands and disregard the law in our society, we must hold them accountable, and we will do so here. And with that, let me introduce Chief Greg Jones from the Albany Police Department.
To give you a little bit of background, the incident occurred about 10:30 last night. We received a call of a shooter. KDC is a light manufacturing facility, but it's a very large building. Upon arrival, first off, our officers were able to get here very quickly, and we are fortunate to have great law enforcement partners from Franklin and Lincoln County who responded as well, along with the fire department. Once we made entry into the building, again, it was a large building. We eventually found 6 victims. 5 of them were transported to the hospital. I can't release their condition at this point. The 6th victim was deceased in the building. The suspect, we had learned, had left the building or left the area before our arrival, or left the immediate area before our arrival. We quickly evacuated approximately 150 other employees to a neighboring building. And then, again, with all of our local partners, not only other cities and counties, but our state partners and federal authorities immediately began to try to track the suspect down. We are doing so as we speak, and it's we hope to have news for you soon. Again, this is a tragedy that to be honest with you, I never thought we'd see in our community, and unfortunately, it's hit home. So. We just want our community to know, and just the community as a whole, that we're doing everything we can to bring this individual into custody, and also to ensure the safety of our citizens and the people that work in the community.
Chief, I know it's early. What are you able to say in terms of a motive here? Obviously, this is highly unusual in New Albany. A lot of concern about something like this happening. What do we know about what led this to occur?
Yeah, that's we don't have a motive at this point. From everybody we interviewed, which was quite a few people, obviously, with a facility this size, there's no reports of any type of confrontation or any type of dispute that would have brought this about.
You said it was a targeted attack overnight. What leads you to believe that?
Because it was at his place of work. So all the victims, all of the people that were injured, or the person that is deceased, worked in the facility.
And I heard you correctly that the suspect did work here. Is that what you just said?
Yes.
Do you know how long the suspect worked there?
We do not know that.
Do you know his exact position here?
No.
Is there any threat to the public at this hour?
We don't believe so. Like I said, I think that the suspect has left the area. We have information that is taking us to certain addresses that we are working to check and try to find him. And another thing, too, is that there was a weapon recovered at the scene. And we only received reports of one weapon.
And as far as you know, just the one shooter involved in the incident?
Correct. And as you guys probably already know, when this originally happens, there's all kinds of reports that you receive. Originally, there was reported that there was 2 shooters. We were able to quickly determine that's not true.
If the shooter sees the coverage, what's your message to him?
To turn himself in. We have New Albany sits in 2 counties. We have municipal jurisdictions, both sheriff's departments. We have state officials, the U.S. Marshal Service, ATF, all working to check these locations where he might be and to bring him into custody. And I would recommend that he turns himself in. I think it's going to be a matter of time before he's brought into custody.
I know you said it's a really large.
Are local?
No, I'm not able to say that. I'm not sure their address. We interviewed and we also ID'd all the people that work in the building that we evacuated. I can tell you that the person that is deceased is not local to New Albany.
This is a large facility. I know it's early in the investigation, but can you give us any sort of sense of how this took place? Was he scheduled to be at work and it occurred then? Did he come into an area he not normally is in? What do we know about the circumstances?
So he had been at work for some time when this occurred. We don't have any reports that there was any issue that he was in an area that he wasn't supposed to be, or he was in trouble in any way, or there was any conflict. We have not to say that there wasn't something, but after interviewing everybody we have and supervisors at the company, we don't have any reports of anything like that.
Can you make some update?
What's that?
Can you make some update right now?
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't give that to you right now. We can follow up and provide that soon.
Can you provide any details on males, females, how many injured in regards to that?
As far as the victims go, no, I don't have that at this point.
Do you have any information about the security at this building? What type of measures there are? Do people have to scan in? Are there, metal detectors when people go in the building?
I don't know the details that I can provide you. I know that we had to use key fobs and different ways of accessing different parts of the building. So I know there is a level of manual security, but I'm not sure of the details.
What else are you able to tell us about the firearm in this case? What type of weapon was it? Can you tell us more?
It was a handgun. I really can't go into it any further than that. And again, our partners at the federal government, ATF, has responded and are helping us track that firearm.
Can you provide any updates on the suspect search? I know there were several scenes earlier today. Can you talk about that any further?
As far as the suspects look, yeah. So we, we had addresses that we thought the suspect might be at, and that our officers and our partners went to those addresses, checked those addresses, obtained search warrants, and that the ones that we've checked so far, that we've not been able to find him. But right before we had this press briefing, we even received more information about some other addresses that we could check.
Was there witnesses that saw him leave, or camera footage that saw him leave? There's a lot of massive buildings here.
Yeah, there is camera footage, and we know how he left the building. So there's camera footage of quite a bit of his entrance and leaving the building.
Have you talked to leadership here at all? What are they saying? Do they know anything about this suspect?
They had a manager, actually a supervisor and a manager here, and I can't at this point I can't release details of what they their characterization of him as an employee. But they did say that nobody here noticed any type of confrontation or anything that one might expect that triggered this.
And this is in the middle of the shift?
What's that?
This is the end of the shift or middle of the shift?
No, this was, he had been there for several hours. I'm not sure when his shift ended, but he had been there for several hours before this occurred.
How are you doing, Chief?
Good. It's been a long night, but I'll tell you, it's not me. It's particularly having to break the news to a family member of the family that lost somebody last night, and to the staff who I'm sure is traumatized, and to all the police and fire staff that have been out here all night working on this. So, but they're doing a great job, and they're truly professionals.
The staff at this facility, have they been allowed to go home, and what has been, how are they doing?
Yeah, so the facility's closed. It's a crime scene. Right now it's a large facility, so it's going to take, I don't know, it could be like 12 hours before this scene is actually processed. We have BCI, they brought out a tremendous amount of staff and resources. They'll process the scene. But the facility's closed, and it will be for some time. And as far as the employees go, I'm not sure how the company notified them not to come into work. Yeah, as I said, about 150 people were working in there, so I'm not sure how many they expected to come in the next shift.
Question for the mayor. You both mentioned that this was a tragedy you never thought you would see in this community. How do you believe that the community will rally together during this time of struggle?
Yeah, you know, in New Albany, we're a very tight community, and everyone will bond together in a tragic situation like this. No one wants to have these types of mornings. And, you know, I know an email went out to the school community this morning before students even got on the bus talking about the situation, but also reaffirming that we're doing everything we can to make sure our community is safe. And I have a lot of faith in our community pulling together in this tragic situation.
Do you plan on releasing any video footage from this area soon, or suspect vehicle information?
So the suspect didn't drive, so and I really can't tell you his mode of transportation at this point. I can't release that yet, but there was not a suspect vehicle that we were looking for at the time. So we had a general description of a ride that he got, but the cameras, it wasn't of sufficient quality where we could get a plate, or if we can get things like a make and model off of.
Any like clothes, anything that people would be able to identify them by this morning?
No, I can. There probably is, and I'm sure that we released it to other law enforcement agencies. I don't have that with me at this point, but we can check.
So do you think that somebody helped him get away?
I don't know that anybody knowing. I don't think at this point, again, this is a fluid situation. We're only hours into this, so it's hard to say. A lot of this information, as you know, can change, but we don't have any reason to believe that anybody was an accomplice by helping him get here or escape.
So you're saying he may have done this, ended his shift like nothing happened, got in the car and left? Is that kind of what you're getting at here?
Pretty much, yeah. I'm not sure how close to the end of his shift he was at, because I'm not sure what his shift was. But he had been here for several hours before this shooting happened.
He walked out casually, like nothing happened?
I don't know if I can characterize they're going over a tremendous amount of video, so I don't know that I can characterize or remember exactly the manner in which he left. I'm sorry?
Talk about the communication and information with other law enforcement to kind of get the word out, try to get on top of this once it happens.
Yeah, so before we were able to obtain a warrant for his arrest, we issued a cop alert through Leeds, which every law enforcement agency in the state of Ohio has access to, basically indicating that we were looking for this individual, information about him, and if you see him, obviously bring him into custody. But we're not taking not a passive way of handling this. We had several SWAT teams on the scene. We had, again, agencies from all levels of government, and they quickly deployed to addresses to try to locate this gentleman. As far as the other thing too is that, it was amazing on the number of agencies that responded. Their level of professionalism, it really, and we were able to put all of them to work. It's obviously a very large scene, and again, they did a great job.
Thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.